Right. What I told this guy was create a notice of understanding and intent claim of right. It's like you're going to Disneyland. First you decide, I'm going to Disneyland. That's step one to going to Disneyland, isn't it? Then you say, I'm going there on this date. I'm going to need this money. I must leave at this point. And you work your way backwards. When you do your claim of right, define the reality you want to create. What this mailman did is he said, I want to be a mailman, I want to be a freeman on the land. So he created a claim of right where he said, as long as I'm in my mailman uniform, I am doing a job as a mailman. I am an employee of the federal government. I am bound by all of this. I have my sin, the whole schmeal. When I get home, I take off my uniform. I'm leaving that number and ID at home. And from there, I'm a free man. So he drew a line in the sand where he could step in, operate as a mailman, operate as a free man on the land. And when he leaves the house in his uniform, he carries his ID and whatnot. When he leaves the house without his uniform, that's all at home.
Is that very different from the straw man argument that we heard before? That trying to...
Very different. Very different. This is not him saying, this is him accepting a certain body of duties when he's standing in one place and a different bodies of duties when he's someplace else. Whereas this guy, or no, not you, but the argument there was that the duties are never mine, it's always that straw man. And that doesn't hold water.
Another question is...
42! I've been dying to say that, you know.
Can I abandon some identification and not others? And if so, what are the repercussions of getting caught up in stuff?
You can abandon whatever you want. You can refuse to abandon whatever you want. What the ramifications would be to that, I don't know. What I would suggest, though, is if you're going to be doing this, do it with some passion. Do it all the way, man. Don't go pussyfooting and saying, I want to abandon some and not the other. If you think that you're getting a benefit, what they want you to do is give up certain rights and freedoms in exchange for their benefits. So if you get attached to their benefits, you might ask questions like that, but if you don't know what rights and freedoms you're giving up in exchange for these benefits, how the hell can you call them benefits? You wouldn't buy a car, not know what you paid for it, and say, oh, wow, I got a great deal.
I worry if I travel around the world, I'm going from country to country to country to country to country, like around the world, let's say. If I get tied up like in Thailand or some other country with a Canadian passport, I'm showing these Canadian documents, like I can see some problems there arising where I can say...
Yeah, I could see that as well, and that's why we need a society where we create our own travel documents, and over a period of time we get them accepted. What we were looking at doing was creating a thing called the laissez-passer, and it means French for let pass. It's not a passport, because a passport allows you to engage in commerce essentially within their country. This is just you know, no commerce, let me through. The way we were looking at getting that accepted was we were going to get like maybe 100 people and then write to the president of Peru or Venezuela and say, we want to go down there, 100 of us, and spend 2 weeks and build you a clinic or a school. And we want a stamp for that. Yeah, you get 100 people doing that, dude, get 3 countries accepting that, we'd have fun, we would end up being the saints of the world. And those documents would be acceptable all over eventually. It would be a battle, but dude, this is not something that anyone is going to give you. This is an invitation to a very, it's a struggle, it's a battle, but dude, if you've ever been in a good battle, you win, there's a hell of a party. Okay, one more from the beautiful lady. Then we have some pizza here. Some pizza and food stuff.
Sorry, because it's my second question. Just in general, is it easier to not register your children at all? Or is it easier to, like, not easier, is it wiser, I guess, to just register them at the very beginning, get it all set and whatever, and then take it back?
I would strongly suggest, though, if I had a wife, a woman, she was pregnant, the moment I knew she was pregnant, I would be putting great big fucking flags all around her, standing with a stick saying the child is not registered, back the fuck off.
Okay, so don't
That's
wait,
pretty much my attitude.
Don't do it.
Yeah,
okay.
Pardon the language, but yeah. When it comes to the kids, man, I would be putting up big, big fence. One more question. There, back there.
Do you know anybody who has successfully secured their person?
Not yet. Or secured their person or their security?
Security of the person.
I know of one lady, heard tell of, who ended up securing it, but then she sold it, and she didn't seize it to administer it. She went to court and demanded it be monetized. She did get the money for it, apparently like, I think it was $5 million, somewhere around there, and it was about 15, 20 years ago, and she's apparently on the Isle of Wight now.
So what's the future progress of that, do you think?
I think if you are going to try that, I looked at that and I realized, I stick my head up now all by myself, I'm going to be the gopher that gets hit. And they would smack me down very hard.
I've seen other claimant rights that claim up to have the finance minister acting as fiduciary to put into an unlimited account of up to $10 million.
Yeah, I don't know that it's unlimited.
Well, no, sorry, it's 1 to 10 million, whatever.
Right. I think what we need is 1,000 people making the claim at once, under Section 337, with our own courts, ready to act if we don't get what we want. And then we use those courts to come down on the course we're trying to use to get our securities. That's the way I see it.
So the remedy's there.
Sorry? Okay? And don't just raise your hand and expect me to administrate this shit. Then they could end up saying no to you over and over and over.
All of us over and over.
Yeah. Dude, you gotta bring a carrot, you gotta bring a stick. Hopefully your carrot is bigger than your stick. But if you can't swing that stick, they're just gonna, dude, you're like a child diddling with a nanny. And you've gotta come to them and say, Nanny, parents are coming home soon and I've been counting your cookies and you're fucking shy. That's how you get them bacon.
Yeah. Sorry. No, one more, sorry. Is there a difference between a student line of credit and a student loan from a government institute? I saw that it was easy.
Yes. You can tell because they're different words.
Yes. That was the first thing.
And just while we're on that actually, the student loan thing, the little trick that they use, a guy came to me, he was a doctor. He said, you gotta help me, you gotta help me. He showed me his document right at the top. I'm like, this is what they sent you? Yeah, what do I do, what do I do? And it said right at the top, your loan, and then a big bunch of words scaring the shit out of him. I said, you should go back to the university and demand your money back because they gave you no education at all. Look at this. And I had to draw it right out. Your loan. A loan is a noun or a verb. The your identifies the owner of that noun or verb. They're telling you flat out, you are the lender. You're the one who made the loan. Whatever obligations exist, and trust me on this, dude, lawyers do not make mistakes when it comes to liability like that. If it was their loan, they would say, our loan to you, or your obligations under our loan. But they tell you flat out, your loan. And then they start talking to you about your obligations. What's the one thing a lender can do a borrower can't? Forgive. Forgive them. Say, you know what, this is my loan. I accept that it's my loan, and I forgive you. And if that's not the case, stand right up and say, no, 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 you can't forgive us because it's not your loan, it's our loan. They will never make that claim. Never. You signed, gave to them, they gave you. You gave first. You're the loaner. And they're so sneaky. It's so in your face. And once you start seeing it, you're like, holy shit, I'm so stupid.
Wow.
I'm sure it is. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I recently found out through that same thing, the strawman thing. You can write a letter to the credit card companies claiming that the debt doesn't exist and they have to show the accounting work, whatever, to prove that debt exists. And if they offset the debt, then pass it to the credit agency, you send them a letter saying to show proof of claim that said debt exists. Can I just keep cash advances on my credit card and then write letters to them offsetting the credit?
I think if you start doing that, you're operating from a position of greed and you are going to end up harming yourself and the entire movement.
I understand. I'm just curious if that could possibly
You're going to end up you're going to be in a muckraking position and you're not coming at it from honor, from what I see. If that credit card is buying food for your family and whatnot, that would be one thing, but you didn't talk about that. And the credit card, you could be buying CDs, you could be paying for lap dances. Why the hell should we be paying for that kind of thing? And when it all boils down to it, this ability to access